Hi guys, we're down here in Glanmire, so we're about to do another cookery lesson. So I'm about to knock on the door. We have Anthony Clodagh and their two little girls, Annabelle and Juliet. So Clodagh wants to start taking on more of a vegetarian/vegan diet. Anthony does all the cooking, so I'm going to work at him in the kitchen and teach him how to cook some nice vegetarian dishes, and hopefully the kids will eat it too. Hi guys, good morning. How are you? David.
Hi David, welcome.
How are you doing?
Not too
Good
bad.
bit of cooking?
Nice cold morning.
Yeah. Hi guys, we're here down in Glanmire, so we're about to do a bit of cooking, but first of all we're just going to have a chat to the guys here. So we've Anthony and Clodagh, we have the head chef here, Annabelle, just holding the rat. It's not a real one, so don't worry. So guys, thanks a million for contacting the show. Why am I here?
Well, Anthony's the chef of the house, and I've given him an extra challenge recently, which is not eating meat. So Anthony has to cook for himself and the girls and me.
Okay.
So it's pretty challenging. And as well, because we both work full time, so it's kind of hard to kind of get prepped and you know in order for the week as well.
Yeah.
We find that quite hard.
Okay.
Well, Anthony does.
Well, I'd finish work, come home, so I'd be home first. So more or less the cooking is down to me. We never shepherd's pie or casserole or stew, and that was always the way. There was always meat in our dinners. So cooking is a lot harder at the moment. So I come home, more or less cook for me, the kids, and then it's like Clodagh. So more or less for the last 2 months, Clodagh has got a baked potato and veg.
That's about it.
That's about it. Yes.
Well, I know it's more stress on you, but it's going to make you a better cook. It's very easy to cook a piece of meat, and then the veg is always an afterthought. With all the research is coming out now, the more meat you kind of eat, the worse it is for you. Like, I love eating meat, but a small portion, good quality, and then really bulk it up with the veg. And plus with the kids as well, as they're growing up, like the more veg they eat, the better. And like I've read hundreds of books on nutrition, and they all agree on one thing, like vegetables are not bad for you. There's books that say fat's good for you, fat's bad for you, meat's good for you. There's a lot of contradiction in a lot of books, but the one thing that's universal is that vegetables can't go wrong with veg. So what we'll do today is that we're going to cook. We're going to do a few Indian curries. We're going to do a korma. We're going to do a dal, vegetarian based, and then we're going to do some lamb koftas as well, which you can cook on the side. So if you still want to get some meat into your diet, that you can actually just cook that separately quite quickly and just stick it on top of the curry. So again, you're keeping yourself happy.
Perfect.
And you're happy. And then the kids can also get a balance in with a bit of meat and vegetarians. Cheers. Here's the pepper pig.
Cheers.
Okay. So guys, we're going to do a little bit of a different format today. We're going to do a cook along. So myself here and Ramsey are going to do all the chopping, and Nigella Lawson here beside me is going to do all the cooking. So what we're going to do first of all is we're going to start off with, we're going to do korma and a dal. We're going to serve them both with brown rice. Okay. So the first thing we want to do is we're going to start off with the going to get the rice cooking. Most people when they're doing curries at home get the curry on, but a curry actually only takes about 12-14 minutes, and the rice actually takes the longest. Okay, so a big pot of salted water on.
How much salt would you put into the water?
I put in enough that I can just slightly taste it. So I always use brown rice at home. It's got more fibre, it's better for you. Simple as that. If you're using white rice, you need to soak it and wash it and get rid of all the starch.
Yeah.
Whereas brown rice, you just stick it in and away it goes.
Can you reheat rice? Is that okay to do?
You can reheat it once.
Once.
So when you cook rice, what you want to do is just use whatever you're going to use, and the rest get it on a tray and let it cool down really quickly. Maybe 20-30 minutes and into the fridge.
Okay, because we always end up with loads of extra rice.
Yeah.
And it always goes.
I cook for 10 times.
For the community, yeah.
So guys, we're going to do our 2 dishes, and we are going to need 2 frying pans. We have one, you need a second one, so from myself and Red FM we bought you a good old quality frying pan here.
Fantastic, thank you very much.
Make life a lot easier doing your cooking.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So we'll just give that a quick rinse. I don't know who does the washing here. Get over there now. So for our base, we need to chop up some onions, garlic and ginger. So we're going to start off with the onion, okay? So what I want you to do is just leave the root of the onion on, take off the top part, and then cut down through the root, like that. Just peel off the outside skin. So we're going to finely dice this. Yeah. With our garlic, we're going to put 2 cloves of garlic in. Just get the garlic clove with your knife like that and just smash it.
Alright.
Okay? But make sure that the blade isn't up like that when you smash it, because you can say goodbye to your hand. Then just the skin will just peel off.
Very good, yeah.
Okay.
Is it true they say that you need a sharp knife so you don't cry when you're cutting onions?
You need a sharp knife so you don't cut yourself and then cry. No, well, basically with the onions is generally, as a rule,
Yeah.
once you leave the root on, that's where most of the power is of the onion.
really?
So if you leave the root on,
Okay.
it kind of stops a lot of the...
But don't they also, if you put a spoon in your mouth and cut, it doesn't...
Yeah, if you put a spoon in your mouth, stand on one leg and do a break dance, it definitely doesn't happen. So we're going to finely chop our garlic. Okay. And then we've got some ginger. So we're just going to take off the outside of the ginger. You have 2 options. You can finely chop it or we can grate it. So we'll actually grate it. So actually you end up, see all that kind of fibre stuff?
Yeah.
It's all, you don't need it.
Okay.
Going to stick those 2 pans on a medium heat.
Okay, how do I turn
Did
it
you know
on?
how to work this? Oh my god. I'm going to show you how to use your oven, okay?
Okay,
I'm going to teach you how to use your hob.
That one? Yeah. Ah!
There we go.
I was wondering how to do that.
So 2 splashes of olive oil in there.
2 splashes.
Yeah. What I always do is I bring my chopping board over the edge of my counter and then I just always slide my ingredients in like that.
Okay, yeah, clever.
Okay? What we're going to do is cook these at a medium heat and just keep them moving. One of the dishes we're doing is a dal, a red lentil dal. So for that one we're going to put peppers into that. The way I prep the peppers is I just take off the 4 sides. So, I'll give you 2 of them. So we're just going to finely slice it. Sometimes I find, which is quite good, if you turn it this side up. So we're going to just slice it into little battens, turn them sideways, and then we're going to dice them up into little pea-sized pieces. So we're going to put these into this pan here. So we're going to finely dice our courgette. The centre of the courgette is quite spongy, so I always take it out. So what we're going to do is cut it in half, turn it sideways, and just take out the centre like that. I generally find with kids, they find the texture of that is a bit too much.
Yeah.
So we're just going to take that out. And then slice and dice. Into our pan.
Do you see what David does? Yeah. Do you want to come up?
So just red lentils. Okay. So what you want to do with these is I always soak them for about 20 minutes before I start cooking.
Yeah.
Do you know what's in
Alright.
it?
No.
So just cover them with water, let them soak.
Cold water, warm
Cold water, yeah.
Cold.
Yeah, just let them soak for 20 minutes.
And ginger.
So if you want to just strain them off. So what we're going to do now with our lentils is we're just going to drop in our lentils. Do you want to drop a few of them in?
Do you want to put them in?
Put in a handful there. Perfect, it's loads.
Well done.
Excellent.
Give it a stir there, Annabelle.
Give it a stir.
So then, this is a really good company, Green Saffron. Stuff is amazing. Have you heard of this?
I heard of green saffron, yeah.
Stuff is amazing. Proper Indian spices, done the way it should be. Annabelle, smell that. What do you think of that? What's that smell like? Curry?
Yes.
Yes!
Well done.
Like a pack like this will serve 4 to 6 people.
Yeah,
But I find it's, for kids, I would do half a pack. Because it's a bit too
Would be
spicy.
strong.
Yeah. So we're just going to put half the pack in, roughly. So give that a mix there, Annabelle.
Okay.
Well done.
Yeah.
I'll give you a job in my kitchen. So then what we're going to do is we're going to put in half coconut milk, half tomato passata. If you're doing dinner for 4 people, you're probably looking at a tin of this and then just fill up the tin with tomato passata. So we'll just tip this in here. And you'll find with coconut milk a lot of the fat settles at the top. But make
Okay.
sure you get all that liquid in as well. So our coconut milk goes in. Roughly the same amount of tomato passata. Drop it in. Now that's going to be very thick, and then I put in roughly the same amount of water. Alright, I just use the same tin as a measuring. So we just strain the rice, and once you strain it, what I always do is let some of the water fall back into the pot, put it on a very low heat. That'll just keep steaming and keep the rice nice and warm.
Tip. Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
Dal there is just bubbling away.
That looks lovely.
And all we're looking for here is that what'll happen is that those lentils will puff up and they'll soak up all the flavour. And at the very end then we'll go in with a little bit of lime juice, some coriander, just get a nice bit of balance.
Mommy, I can't see the lens.
So we're just going to jump back onto the korma. So butternut squash. I'm going to show you how to prep this fella. And we're going to do, it's going to be cauliflower, butternut squash and chickpeas. Okay? And we finish that one with spinach. Alright, there's plenty of vegetables.
Sounds good.
Brilliant, yeah.
So with your butternut squash, what you want to do is you kind of come down and you'll see where it starts to get a bit thicker at the end. So you just cut roughly around there. Okay, take off the top. So anytime you're cutting like round vegetables, try and cut it so that eventually you have a flat surface somewhere. It's easy then to attack. Okay, so what I do with the top part of the squash is with my knife, I'm just going to run down and just take off as little of the skin as I possibly can. So you can do the second half. And I'm going to do the same then with the bottom. That's the top part, so that's what it would have been like. But the bottom part is full of seeds. Okay?
Alright.
Whereas the top part is solid. Okay? So from there again, it's quite a big piece of vegetable to deal with. So I'd cut it in half again. And then what I'm going to get you to do is just cut straight down. And like our courgette and our pepper earlier on, we're going to turn them sideways, cut them into battens, and then cut them into pea-sized pieces. So with like your leftovers, this part of the squash, you just get a spoon and you'd scoop out the seeds. Get this in here. Okay. You start after me, please, chef. So with our cauliflower then, so what I always do is I take off all the florets, just go around like that, and just cut them into little bite-sized pieces. So our lentil dal is just cooking away, so what we're going to do now is we're going to finish off the korma. So we swapped helpers. One of our first helper's gone for a nap. Juliet here is going to take over on the korma. We cooked our onions and our garlic and our ginger gently. We put in our butternut squash and I've cranked up the heat a little bit, okay? And I'll explain why in a second. We're going to stick in our cauliflower. So a little bit of science, and I'm not a scientist, but if you eat a slice of bread, it tastes nice. But if you toast the bread, because it's gotten golden brown, it always tastes nicer. That's because you've caramelized the bread. Same thing applies to meat and vegetables and everything. So like if you boil a steak, it doesn't taste very pleasant. But if you pan fry and roast it, it always tastes nicer. Because there's natural sugars and everything. So by cranking up the temperature and caramelizing the cauliflower and the squash a little bit, it adds a bit more sweetness to the dish. And kids are more receptive to the sweetness, they love it. But it's natural sweetness. And also it's giving you a little bit more texture in the dish instead of just boiling. So all we're going to do now at this stage then is go in with some spice. So again, I'm using green saffron spice. This is korma. Serves 4 to 6 full packet. But I'm going to go a half packet because we don't want too spicy. Blow the head off the children. So then we're just going to give that a mix. And just lightly toast the spices. So with the korma, again we're going to go coconut milk and tomato, but not the same ratio. We're going to go 1 coconut milk to half tomato because we want this a little bit creamier.
Is Daddy good at cooking?
Is Daddy good at cooking? Thank you, Pat.
Christmas is coming up now, so make sure you say
Yeah.
the right thing. So I'm just going to put half the passata in. And then a little bit of water, okay? What we're going to do now is just stick on our chickpeas. So with the chickpeas, make sure that you strain them off and make sure that you rinse all the water off. So chickpeas go in, and then chickpeas are cooked right to rock and roll. So we're just literally going to simmer that for another 5 to 6 minutes and then finish it off with some coriander, almonds and yogurt. And that's that done. So we've got just some minced lamb, so I want you to put in just a sprinkle of some korma spice. Salt and pepper. And then I just want you to mix it right in by hand, scrunch it in, and then just roll them into little meatballs, probably the size of like a little golf ball. Okay. Just been informed that we're going on a nappy break, so we're losing 2 of our chefs, but we'll continue on.
Handle it.
All right, take it. If you need a hand change in nappy, call him.
Yeah.
I do enough with it at home. So basically, salt, pepper, bit of spice, lamb. Don't need any egg or any breadcrumbs to bind it. Okay. We're going to get a pan on here and a pretty high heat, and then we're just going to flatten them down a little bit into little mini burgers. You can flatten them down. Perfect. And then all I want you to do is just lay them into the pan. Don't need to add any oil. There's enough fat
in the mince.
In the mince. Yeah. This will work well as well for beef mince. Doesn't have to be lamb mince. So for the relish, what we do is just going to get a plate, cheese grater again. Just going to grate my beetroot. I'm going to grate some apple, and then some carrot. Right, and then we're going to put some spring onions in there as well. Season it with your spice and some salt and pepper, some korma spice. A little bit of natural yogurt. So with some natural yogurt in. Some korma spice. Squeeze a lime juice. And as you can see, it's really messy, but this is proper cooking at home. So I'm just going to turn these over now, okay?
Yep.
So you can see how long I actually cooked them before I even touched them. Flip them over. Press them again. And I'd say another 3 or 4 minutes and they're done.
Ready to go?
Yeah. So I'm just going to finish off with the curry. So a handful of spinach and just let it wilt down in the natural heat of the curry itself. And then we're also just going to put in a few flaked almonds and just fold that in. Got some fresh coriander here. So take off the stalks and just roughly chop it. I don't like to chop it too fine. Leave it a little bit chunky. A little bit of coriander in the korma. A little bit of coriander in the dal. So I'm going to plate up. So we've got our brown rice. So you can plate this up family style if you want as well, okay? We get some of our dal and we just put it on there like that. Put some coriander.
That's one that you did, Annabelle.
Coriander over the top, which is quite nice. A few lime wedges. And then we can have a little bit of yogurt. We'll do half of it with yogurt.
Yep.
And then we've got some of our nice relish on the side.
The colours are amazing.
And then for anyone that wants the meat,
yep,
it's just over here on the side. We'll finish that then with a...
Look good?
It's not as good as Dad's, but...
Is it?
Is that right, Annabelle?
This one then is nearly finished. So we just fold all the vegetables through at the very last minute. And I'm going to give that a good squeeze of lime juice. So, and then this is just the chickpea korma. So again, just in here. So guys, we just finished up with the tasting, and I think it's lovely anyway, but I'm obviously going to say that. So guys, how did you feel today, Went? Did you enjoy it?
I enjoyed it. I've learned a lot. I wouldn't be afraid to cook an all-vegetarian meal, but also how easy it is to add meat as a side. It's all very tasty, healthy, refreshing. It's I've learned a lot today.
So are you excited about what the prospects are ahead?
Definitely, yeah. I think, you know, if I was to show Anthony this in a cookbook,
Yeah.
you know, that would be the end of it. Whereas now, you know, that you've shown him, and, you know, he'll know that, you know, it's doable. It's
Yeah.
easy to do, and we love it.
I'm glad you enjoyed it. And practice makes
We
perfect.
did,
Yeah, very much
I think
so,
you've made
yeah.
it look very easy cooking. I think it's for me to come back and even attempt this, let's say tomorrow evening. It might take me longer than the 15 minutes, 20 minutes it took us here today, but very, very, very achievable.
Yeah.
I'll have it ready for Clodagh when she comes home.
That's the most important thing. She'll be rushing home now. She'll
Exactly,
be home sooner.
yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
for sure.
So we just finished up here in Glanmire and I had a really good time cooking with Anthony and Clodagh and the two lovely girls. I have to respect what they're doing. They're working extremely busy like a lot of people, and they're putting the time and effort to cooking healthy food when they get home from work. So next week we're heading up to UCC. I'm going back to college and we're going to meet Katie, who wants to learn how to cook healthy food for herself and the girls she's living with. So hopefully it all goes well, and tune in next week.